Okay, guys, it's a blast from the past. We're talking about Blitzchung. You guys remember the Hong Kong Hearthstone hero? Many people were upset. And the question that was being asked here in this article was, are you still boycotting Blizzard? You know what? I haven't touched a Blizzard game since then. I really haven't. I used to be a big Hearthstone player, and I really haven't. And they had a poll at the bottom of this article that I wanted to show you guys because the results were really interesting. And if you guys forget, let's read this article for those that aren't familiar with this story. Massively Overpowered reader Pepperzine recently dropped us an email about Blizzard that we've put off until today very intentionally. Why? Because tomorrow Activision Blizzard releases its Q4 2019 financial results. Oh, boy. I should have looked those up. Sorry about that, guys. Obviously, Blizzard's January disasters don't show up in the report, which covers the period ending December 31st, though we expect analysts to ask about that. But we also have no idea whether any of the company's autumn train wrecks will be reflected in the report. They have to. They're a public company. They have to put the numbers as the numbers. There's no way they got to put it in there. You know, there might be some creative accounting there, but the numbers are going to be there somehow. My guess is probably not, says the author. Maybe the author is saying because they're going to do some creative accounting that's going to make it look like it wasn't a big deal. Possibly. I've seen companies do that in the past. Given the way the reports and dopey analyst questions are structured to obscure such things and slump Blizzard's games were already suffering, you know, some of these analysts don't ask dopey questions. I've listened to a lot of these conference calls, especially for earnings, for quarterly reports on larger companies that when I used to trade. And let me tell you, some of these analysts have some pretty hard cutting questions that make the CFO take a pause. And you can hear the nervousness. You can anticipate the fact that this guy's going to have a shaky voice. Some of these analysts ask some pretty hard cut questions. This is real money in the real world, man. So, you know, not every analyst question that I've heard is dopey. But anyhow, Pepperzine wanted us to follow up on our piece about the boycotts from October 17th, a few weeks before the now infamous Alan Brack non-apology. You know, yeah, I remember that. That's ridiculous. At the time, 38% of our readers said they were boycotting Blizzard, 23% were not, and 30% had sworn off Blizzard games anyway. I think it would be interesting to get a poll of where we currently stand here, says Massively Overpowered. Let's check it out. Are you still boycotting Blizzard? Let's look at this. This is interesting to me. I did take this vote, by the way. We almost have more votes in our community than this Massively Overpowered article. I just want to throw out props to my community and just say you guys are hardcore. Good for you guys. Our votes are near that or almost over that on our current poll that we're going to do on Star Citizen after this video here. So I'm really excited about our community throwing down. But anyway, I was never boycotting Blizzard, says 20% of the vote. So 20% of people said they were never boycotting Blizzard, which, you know, there should have been some retribution towards those. You know, the way that they just basically shunned initially Blitzchung because of what he had said about free Hong Kong, and they didn't win his prize and they didn't give him his prize money was despicable. It was despicable, absolutely despicable what Blizzard had done. And, you know, Blizzard's like a world owned, they're around the world, they're global. And so the cultural stances of Blizzard's offices in China are completely different than the cultural, principles behind their American offices. So, you know, that was the big conflict, is the two different cultures, but the two different cultures, but capitalism was the biggest thing. And for them to shun Blitzchung the way they did initially and then not apologize for it was ridiculous. Of course, afterwards they did give him a portion of the prize money and, you know, kind of apologize to everybody because Blizzard wanted to say, hey, we're still an American company. We started from here. So let's see. 2% said I was boycotting Blizzard but no longer am. 2% said I am boycotting certain Blizzard products but not all. So that's not that big. I am playing Blizzard games, but specifically withholding more money. It says 8% of the vote. So again, not huge. This was important, and this is why this is in bold here. 27% from 38%. So since then, 4 months ago, there's only an 11% drop. So 27% of those taking the poll, and this again is a small sample, but it's interesting to me that nearly basically 1 out of every 3 people are still boycotting Blizzard. Now that could affect the bottom line. 1 out of 3 people are essentially boycotting boycotting Blizzard. And I put that as well, because I have not played anything Blizzard oriented since, personally. Again, I was disgusted by it. I didn't like it. And I said enough. And I haven't touched Hearthstone since. And I was an avid Hearthstone player. I loved Hearthstone. I just didn't like the fact that it was pay to win, essentially, and you have to continue to buy packs on every expansion, as is the Blizzard model. It's completely disgusting as well. So 15% said, I am boycotting Blizzard for other reasons, not Blitzchung, just upset people. So think of that. So there's an additional 15% of people. Now we're at 42%. So now we've increased it 42%. Wow, that's nearly 1.5 people out of 3 people. So now we've increased that. That's interesting. I'm not playing Blizzard games, but not because of the boycott. Another 21%. Wow, wait a second. Now we're starting to get up there. So we're at 42% plus the additional 21%. Let's do math here. 3 carry the blah, 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 blah. 63%, guys. Now we're at 63%. That's over half people on this. Now, again, this is a small sample, but I thought this was really interesting. What are you guys doing when it comes to Blizzard games? Love to hear you guys' comments down below. Anything you have to say about Blizzard, anything you have to say about Blitzchung, anything you have to say about this poll, would love to hear from you guys, and I will see you on the next vid. Today's video has been brought to you by the generous patrons of DG360 who make continued content possible. DG360 patrons enjoy monthly giveaways like Star Citizen packages, Steam gift cards, and any game that you want giveaways. Please consider donating $1 if in any way you enjoy DG360 content. And these difficult times where independent content creation is under attack from the FTC and left to die by YouTube, it's nice to know that I'm appreciated. Thank you.